All right, here is my heart. My heart story.
Wonderful.
So, has anyone ever had anyone say, well, I used the patches for a few months and I really didn't feel anything? Folks, I didn't even know I had a right bundle branch block when I started using the patches. And during the time I was using them, I had two stress echoes that I'll talk about. So I had PVCs my entire life. I knew it in high school. I was a long distance runner. It didn't bother me when I was running, but when I was at rest, I could feel my heart kind of skipping a beat. When my mom and dad would take us to get our physicals, the doctor would say, he has a heart murmur. And that's all I ever knew about it. I did not know I had a right bundle branch block that has to do with the conductivity to the right ventricle that pumps blood out to the lungs to get oxygen. And then it comes back to the heart and out to the body. But here's also what I didn't know. A right bundle branch block is associated with increased risk of all-cause mortality. And if you have a heart attack and you have one of those, you're done. So the block is here. Here's the right bundle. So here's the right bundle branch block. This is the right ventricle. And here's the sequence of events. I noticed I had PVCs when I was younger. I started using the patches in April of 2020. August 2020, the PVCs changed and they got really rhythmic and it was scary. And it turned out to be a good thing, but they got every fifth beat, day and night, fifth beat, fifth beat, fifth beat. I was taking my pulse, and Carla and I were lying in bed and saying, "God, it's skipping a beat every fifth beat." I have this knee replacement surgery coming up in the third week of August. I should call the cardiologist because something's going on with my heart. It's weird. Well, what I did is I put an X39 on the back of my neck, but since I'm a man, I thought more would be better. So I put a second one right over my heart. And it turns out that is actually true with the patches. If you put a second one on, you'll get about a 20% bump in whatever it elevates. So I didn't know that yet, but I got my two on because I'm a man. And then they changed to every fifth beat. I had a stress echo in August of 2020 that showed I had the right bundle branch block. 2 weeks later, the PVCs were gone. And this is my theory. I have no proof. But when the doctor came in and said, yeah, your heart did really well on the stress echo, it responded well to exercise. I wanted to say, yeah, I've known that for 40, 50 years. But you just have this right bundle branch block in PVCs. And I said, well, what causes that? And he says, well, just like everywhere else in our body, we have these apoptotic cells. Cells are killed off because they're old. You just can't replace them fast enough in the heart. And the light went on. I went, oh my gosh, I have all these stem cells now. They're replacing themselves. They just don't know how to beat yet. And they're all doing it at the same time, skipping a beat. I don't know if it's true, but 2 weeks later, they were gone. Here's the first test. And I don't know if you can read this, but it's the baseline ECG shows a sinus rhythm with a right BBB, right bundle branch block. Down at the bottom, it says compatible with a right bundle branch block. So here's my second one. I'm going to zoom in right here. Right bundle branch block is no longer present.
And what was the time frame in that?
About a year and a half.
Okay, a year and a half.
And here's on it's called My Chart. I get this message on My Chart. It's an app. Hi, John. Dr. Ryder's reviewed your nuclear test results and is pleased to report everything looks great. Your study was normal with no issues noted. 2 cardiologists have said they've never seen a right bundle branch block go away. So I'm just going to get really personal right now. How important was that to me? My wife, my 10 kids, my 26 grandkids, that grandpa is going to be around longer and productive longer. and not going to be plagued with this lurking problem in the background. And this used to be me right here. You can see how gray my hair was. It's changed quite a bit. It started turning brown from back to front. It was all gray. And some friends said, "Do you realize your hair's turning brown again?" I said, "Get out of here." No, it's not. Bent forward, they took a picture of this. So that's what my journey has been. And how much, when somebody says, I've used them for 2-3 months and I just haven't felt anything. How difficult do you think it is for me to say, "You idiot"? I don't say that. I think it, but I don't say it. But I say, well, what are you using to measure? Are you measuring all of your blood levels of your chemistry panel? Are you measuring your vitals? Are you doing tests? What are you measuring? What do you mean you don't feel anything? Your liver might be regenerating. Your bone density might be being restored. You're this, you're that. Your chemistry panel may be changing. Don't tell me you didn't feel anything. Of course you didn't. There are 99.9% of the things that go on in your body that you don't feel. Jim Fixx, the guy who popularized jogging, died at age 42 of a heart attack. He was healthy. You don't know what's going on, so be passionate about that. I mean, we don't want to be ornery or mean, but ask them, well, what do you mean you don't feel? Or what are you using to measure that? If it's pain that goes away, it's easy to notice that. If it's some dysfunction that goes away, it's easy to notice that. I didn't know I had a right bundle branch block. Here's what it would have been. I would have not known I had a right bundle branch block. I would have used the patches for 1.5 years. The right bundle branch block would have gone away, and I never would have known I had it or that it went away. So that we have to keep in mind when we're using the patches, what's going away. I can tell you this, and it's probably time for me to let Stacey talk a little bit. We all have a lifespan. We don't know what it is. We know when we're born, but we don't know when the end is. There's only one person that knows that. What we have control over is that percentage of our lifespan that is our health span. The patches can help us increase the health span. And if these 3 things are true when you're old, there's a lot wrapped up in it. 1, I remember who I am when I'm in my 2, I'm not meeting a new person in my house every 15 minutes who's my spouse. I am able to go visit people. They don't have to come and visit me. Those are some of my 3 goals for myself and my wife as we age. And if those are true, she and I are traveling and we're not bedridden, where people have to come to visit us.
Those are very important goals. Very important. And those are things that people need to start thinking about even in their 30s and 40s. And especially when you get into your 50s and 60s, as our stem cell production declines. Those are fantastic goals. Now, Dr. Harmon, they're asking me, what patches did you start with? What patches did you use during that 1.5 year period of time? And here you are over 3 years later. What patches are you still using, and why are you still patching?
Okay. Well, I have to be frank with you. I didn't even know about any or much about the other patches. I didn't know about the comp plan. I got this notification, hey, you reached the manager level. I wonder what that is. Hey, you reached the executive director level. I knew a little bit more about it then, but I can't say. I just went to work. I knew that if I just kept bringing people in, right side, left side, right side, left side, I was going to build a business. And I didn't know what the other patches were. And then when I found out, David did a couple of things. We didn't have the education, the series that David does. We had one like every other month. He did a thing and found out about the carnosine. I thought, I should start using that one. I knew the AON decreased inflammation. But at first, it was mainly the X39. I did add the Aeon, the Alavita, the Carnosine. It's not like I can just say it was all X39. Maybe it was, but I don't know for sure. But today, I use the X39, the X49, the energy enhancers, the Aeon, the Carnosine, and there's one more in there somewhere.
Glutathione.
Biggie. And here's another thing where you don't know something. How do you describe something you don't have? You're not even aware of it. You don't have it, so you don't talk about it. You don't think about it. But I get my haircut. I've gotten my haircut from the same barber for probably 10 years. And the guy next to him, my barber owns a shop, and there are other, chairs. And the guy next to him is usually busy. So I hadn't had a chance to talk to him for a couple of years. And a few months ago, he didn't have a client. And he and I started chatting. And after a few minutes, he said, "You don't fall asleep anymore."
What?
Oh my gosh. I used to fall asleep every single time. Every single time I got my haircut.
Wow.
And I forgot about it, because how do you describe something you don't even have? You don't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Yeah, you're right. I don't fall asleep anymore." And the energy enhancers don't give you a buzz. You're not all ramped up. It's just a lack of fatigue, lack of feeling tired in the afternoon. So I use the energy enhancers as well. My wife and I are I use the Dream and the Shine now. So there aren't any of the products I don't use. Why wouldn't I? I mean, let's see. What do I want more? A right bundle branch block? Or do I want to spend a couple $100 on patches? Do I want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars later for healthcare? Or do I want to spend $300 or $400 on patches that help me stay healthy?
Big choice there. And especially when you think about your quality of life, not only yourself with your wife, but also with your 10 children and 26 grandchildren. Having that energy, having that vitality with them, that's going to continue in their minds for years and years to come. Even when you do live to be 150, 200 years old with the rest of us patching, they're still going to be like, my great-great-grandpa, he's still kicking over there in Idaho, doing his brain stuff, patching people when they come in. That's important. That legacy that you're leaving because of a choice you made in wellness and in your future. And I mean, it's priceless. It really, really is. We only have a few minutes, but I do want you to share with them the X49. I know you talk so passionately about the benefits of that with the 39. So can you tell us a little bit about the X49 and your specialty and what you do with that?
Yes. The X49, well, let me rewind. The AHK copper peptide is essential in bone building. It's used. It disappears. More of it is cleared out of the blood when you're building bone. But we walk a delicate dance all day long between bone building and bone destruction. Bone building happens when you're exercising. The body says, "Oh, I need stronger bones. I'm going to put more bone into this." "Oh, no, this person's been bedridden for 2 months. I don't need this much bone structure anymore. So I'm going to take a little bit of it out." Well, the study that was done was measuring the AHK copper peptide, and these, they're called terminal, the connections that connect collagen fibers together. When your body's destroying bone, it's breaking down the collagen, and then these things end up in your bloodstream, and that says there's more bone destruction going on. They showed that wearing X49, there's more bone building, and that's really all you need to know, that it helps restore and maintain healthy bone structure. But it also, that AHK copper peptide forms a Faraday cage inside of you. Copper is what's used for Faraday cages. So like Tesla, like a Tesla, Faraday cage. So I do testing when someone comes in, and there's actually a new diagnosis called electrosensitive. When I had my chiropractic tables, I'd have patients come in and they were electrosensitive. I couldn't even have the table plugged in. I couldn't stand the the EMFs coming from my table. So this helps build this Faraday cage to keep the EMFs out. Mm. Folks, we're not going to do anything about those 5G towers. We're not going to be able to stop them. We're not going to be able to do much about Verizon and all those towers, but what we can do is protect our body from those things getting in. And so you can actually find a strong muscle on somebody and then have them hold their phone up to their chest and then call that phone, test that muscle, then they won't have any strength in any of the muscles. Their postural muscles, okay, but their voluntary control muscles, they go weak. Sometimes I'll use the muscles of gait, like right arm, left leg, and they won't even be able to hold them up when their phone's ringing on their chest. Put the X49 on it, do it again, rock solid in those muscles. And what does that mean? Well, when I use the muscles of gait, I'd say, do you realize that your phone and all these EMFs are affecting your gait? Do you realize how important that is, your gait? If you're not walking right, you're going to wear your joints out. So that's pretty impactful when you can do that.
Mm-hmm. That makes a huge difference. We're all bombarded by detrimental EMFs, and that's definitely another amazing perk and benefit to using the X49 as well. So, Dr. Harmon, we have about 1 minute left. Do you have any last comments or thoughts or anything? Everyone is just blown up the comment section and how grateful they are with all the information that you've shared tonight. Do you have any final closing remarks that you would like to share with everyone?
Yes, and I thought about this, and I want to address just briefly, people get really frustrated and they might not get the benefit from the X49, X39, whatever it is, the patches. Most diseases are caused by a long-term exposure to some kind of pathogen, viruses, bacteria, fungus, parasites. The X39 activates our immune system. What if our immune system is so sick, I can't kill off those pathogens? You might be having a chronic infection of a parasite you don't even know you have. Parasites can cause neuropathy. They cause tingling and numbness in your extremities because they poop ammonia. And so find a practitioner who's really good at helping unravel all of that. The other thing is some things that can impede or prevent copper absorption. We have to have copper in order to make copper peptide. Use chlorophyll, take a couple of droppers full of that a day, you get an ample copper. But here's the kicker, and this is in the book as well. If you're taking high doses of zinc, it inhibits absorption of copper, and you will not respond to the patches as well because you're not getting enough copper. And so keep that in mind. Those are things, though in my journey of digging through all of this stuff about copper peptides, those are some of the nuggets that I have in the book.
Wonderful. Well, we're all looking forward to that. So be watching Dr. Harmon's page on Facebook. He will be sharing that link when that's available. And of course, send him that email if you would like a signed copy. This recording, of course, will be up on my YouTube channel as soon as it gets downloaded to my computer. So thank you so much, Dr. Harmon, for taking the time out this evening of your busy schedule to come here and pour into everyone. We had over 300 people on here tonight, and I know we'll have thousands that watch the recording. So this information was completely valuable and so informative for everyone that is watching. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate you. If you have any other questions, please get back with the person that invited you. They're going to be able to help you answer those and get you the information. about the patches and what works best for you and how you can get set up that with the technology as well too. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Dr. Harmon. Everyone have a fantastic evening.
Thanks so much.